Well, that's me. And if you want to see how I met Winnie the Pooh, well, keep on watching.
So apparently the people have spoken. What they want is for me to stream. People, I don't know what I'm doing. I do not know what I'm doing. So, quick backstory about how my love for Winnie the Pooh grew. I was probably 6 or 7. I got out a piece of paper and wrote a letter. I don't think it was ever posted because I don't think my parents ever posted it. Asking him to never, ever stop writing about Winnie the Pooh because he was my favourite bear and he made me very happy, and watching his shows made me happy, and it was such a sweet show and I just loved it. And so now fast forward 2016, my trip 6 years ago. I went to Crystal Palace and Winnie the Pooh was coming around and I was screaming the place down. I said to him, "Winnie, you never wrote back to me," like a mum telling off their baby. "You never wrote back to me. You never called me." I was so upset. So Winnie the Pooh got his handler to get me, I want to say it was a napkin or a tissue, and he wrote a note on it. "Sai, I love you more than honey from Pooh." Winnie the Pooh's now my bestie. See, we're on writing terms now. Oh, I love Winnie the Pooh 10 times more. I wanted to bring him a gift, so I bought him a little Winnie, sort of similar to that size, but he had light up cheeks. I'm here to tell you about my trip and all the people that I met. So, hello. I'm Sai. I did forget to say that. And I had a really good time. I was on Jeff's stream and people found my Instagram. Multiple people messaged me asking me to film something. Here I am, and I'm gonna tell you about the story of how I met Winnie the Pooh, the love of my life. I left on November the 10th. I went to New York City first for 3 days. And then I went to Orlando, so I flew in from New York to Orlando, and I was in Orlando for 2 weeks. If this video isn't a complete fail, think about the kinds of things that I might want to show you guys around London. Some of the ideas that I've had are Harrods, Selfridges, the Disney store, the Harry Potter store, maybe even take you guys to the Harry Potter studio, show you guys Winter Wonderland. The people have basically asked and I'm here to deliver. I might be here a long time, so without further ado, grab your hot drink in your Disney mug, preferably. If you don't have one, go get one. And we can start our story in New York City. In New York. So by the time I landed, checked into my hotel, I stayed at the TBA Times Square. It is on Times Square itself. It is right by the Port of Authority bus station and subway. It was very ideal because it was like a 5 to 7 minute walk away from most things in Times Square. So my problem was trying to stay awake, because if I stayed awake to New York bedtime, I would have been okay. So that was my goal, to stay up as late as I could. I put my luggage down. I had a very hot shower, which I think I needed. I just rested in my room for a little while, and about maybe 3:45, 4 o'clock, I left my hotel to go to a place called Poco, which is in New York. It is sort of like a restaurant, bar type of vibe. And on Thursdays, Poco has a happy hour, which was like $1 margaritas, $1 wings, and all sorts of stuff. It was all the good stuff, all the stuff that mattered. And I was like, yeah, it's Thursday, sign me up, I'm going there. I ate there, had dinner with a friend, and then I went to walk around Times Square because I purposely, on the 10th of November, booked an opening night ticket to see Wakanda Forever in New York, because why not? I'm here. And it was really good. It was a great film. Just walked around Times Square, and then I headed back to my hotel because the next day I saw Mike Klemovich. Mike Klemovich came and met me in the morning, picked me up from the hotel. Mike took me everywhere. I was doing a shopping day with Mike. That was my intention, to basically shop till I drop. And he took me everywhere. Macy's, Harry Potter store, Disney store, M&M World, the Hershey store. We went to that toy shop called Foul Shorts on the giant piano. You know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about? And then we went to Junior's for lunch, and that was amazingly incredible. The cheesecake. Oh, Mike, please send me a slice in the post. I will pay for it. Shopping, more walking around. He showed me how to use the subway, which came in very handy. He actually gave me a lot of confidence to use the subway on my own. So I met up with some friends and then rode the subway later after I spent the day with Mike shopping, bought lots of stuff, went to the Harry Potter. I actually got this from the Harry Potter store. Bought a decoration bauble from Macy's as well. It's currently on my tray. Had a slice of Joe's pizza for dinner, and the people are correct. It is God's gift. I really enjoyed that piece of pizza. It was huge. The slice was bigger than my head. So after finishing off at Carragher's pub, I headed back to my hotel room. So
The next day.
Central Park, which is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful, it's magical, it's huge. It was just something else. And some friends, and we decided that we were gonna have dinner sort of early because we were heading to a Broadway show. We headed to Aladdin. Aladdin was amazing. The genie was phenomenal. He was, such a great genie, and really got the audience engaged and interested. Walked around Times Square one last time, taking in all the sights and the sounds before heading back to the hotel for the final night. I was up at 3 a.m. and my flight was at 6:45 or 7 in the morning. And this is where the madness begins.
Please, that's Leeann. Cynthia, Reese. Hey. Jay, Leeann's husband.
Where I am picked up by the absolutely wonderful Cynthia, Candy Mum, and her daughter Reese, and they picked me up from the airport, which was very kind. And because they were staying in Disney a few days, they stayed with me at my Disney hotel. I stayed at the Coronado Springs Resort. The decor, the vibe, very Spanish themed. And not only was I on the ground floor of the hotel, I was also by the bus stop where the bus came. It was the very first pickup and the very first drop off for pretty much every journey. Right outside my room was one of the quieter pools, so I was in the casitas. Has actually done a room tour for me, and I'll be sure to put that down there. So I was right by the Three Bridges, so I could get to the Villa del Lago, the Three Bridge restaurant, the bags. As soon as they were dropped, we were on the bus to Magic Kingdom because I could not wait any longer. I was just ready to see the castle, and oh my god, when I got there, I almost cried. I was so happy. Paint you a picture. I walked through those arches just after security, and you can see the main street where the flag is. You can see Dapper Dan in the corner singing away. It's everywhere. And you can see the castle in front of you, people with hot drinks in their hands. Oh God, I was just so happy to be there, to meet a ton of friends on the very first day who were very, very kind to wait for me. But I not only met Cynthia and her daughter Reese, I also met Leeann. I also met Walt. I also met Charlie, Stacey, the many ventures of Winnie the Pooh, and they sang Sai Sai Sai, and it felt so surreal. We had some lunch at Pinocchio's, we had some pizza, and I watched the fireworks show, met up with Jeff, Angela and their daughter Abby. The next day we were at the Very Merry Christmas party, which was also fantastic. Got so many cookies. I met we went on all the rides with the overlays. It's called the Speedway. I couldn't think what it was called. Reese drove me because even though the car is controlled and it's on the track, I could not even think about driving on the wrong side of the road, because trust me, every time Cynthia and I got in the car, I was trying to get in the driver's seat, because that to me is the passenger side, and it was very strange. Met a few characters. We saw Goofy dressed as Santa, we saw Scrooge McDuck, we saw Donald, we saw Daisy, Minnie, the parade. Fantastic fireworks show, also very good. I gotta say something, Leeann, that lady reminds me of like a military woman, sort of soldier, because the way she moved in and out that crowd, especially when the fireworks end or when the parade ends, she grabbed my hand, started pulling me through the crowds. I was like, oh my God, we've lost Cynthia, and Rick was like elbows out trying to push through the crowd. I could never. She was on a mission. Leeann was on a mission. And I saw so many shows, the Lion King show, and I went to all the trails, and I did every night's beacon of magic, beacon of light, whatever you call it. I timed this holiday were for the Very Merry Christmas party. I was there for food and wine. I was there for Thanksgiving, and I was also there for the festival of the holiday. So eventually, but who did I meet? There were so many of you. Charlie, Stacey, Avery, Sophie, Ron, Meredith, Madison, Walt, Melissa, Jeff, Angela, Zach, Abby, Donna, Sam, Nick, Tommy living with the magic, Stacey, their 2 children, Richard the Legend, R. Johns, Leeann, her husband Jay, Cynthia, Reese, met Tina, Doreen. Every single one of them is exactly what they're like on the channel. Everyone is sweet, everyone was welcoming, everyone was friendly, everyone was loving. What was my favourite meal at Disney? Well, I got to say my favourite meal was probably, because I'm biased, was probably the Crystal Palace buffet meal with Jeff and Angela and Abby. Captured it, it's on his channel, and I'm going to link it below, and I'm going to insert a clip from it, but something truly magical happened there.
I have a gift for you. Yeah, please. I got you a gift from the UK. It's a little version of you. Wait. Wait for it. He lights up. It's for you. I'm going to put it in my bag and I'll give it.
The highlight of my trip, meeting Winnie, giving him his gift, finally meeting all these wonderful people that I speak to every day on the stream, being there on Main Street when the firework show is going off and Tinkerbell is coming out the castle. Oh, fantastic. I cried at the end when all the characters were on the boat. It was so emotional, but it was so cool. Of course, I went to Universal as well, meeting the Grinch.
Yes, it is. Look, isn't he handsome?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am, see? Because I can see me, I'm like, who's that good-looking dude? And Sai.
Thank you.
All right, see ya. This is all the love I never got as a child.
Going through Diagon Alley, or Magic at Hogwarts castle projection that they do at night. My favourite character interactions have probably got to be Chip and Dale when they danced to All I Want for Christmas Is You. It was the joy on these little kids' faces. I was the kid. Second favourite was Jack Sparrow. Oh, he was just so good looking. Such a beautiful man. He was like, have I made you feel uncomfortable? And I was like, yes, sir. I was trying not to flirt with Jack Sparrow, but it wasn't working. Winnie the Pooh, when I gave him his little Winnie, singing with Tigger, meeting the Grinch. Like I told him my name was Sai, and he'd be like, oh, but Darth Vader, my God, he's so eerie. He's so spooky. He's actually quite scary. I went to the candlelight procession and I watched Simu Liu, who was on the first night, the guy who played Some of my favourite rides now, the Space Mountain, Navi River, Avatar, Guardians of the Galaxy. I cannot wait for Tron. I cannot wait for Tron. First of my favourite rides were definitely Hagrid's and Velocicoaster. Questions about my resort, or if you want any help with an itinerary, just let me know. I'll do whatever I can to help you. If you just want a meal recommendation or some character meetup recommendations, or I met some amazing friends, and I just wanted to say thank you to every single one of those friends who took the time out to come and meet me. So much love and affection. Thank you. I love you. Winnie hugs. I think I'll leave you guys now because I've been talking for way too long. I had a great time. Thank you to everyone. And I'll speak to you soon. We went on the what's the one with the car? Oh, Speedway. Putting rubbish in the bin.
Alexa, how do you make a thumbnail?
And action. Yeah, they know what I'm talking about. You're so hot. Why? Oh, Jack Sparrow, if you ever watch my YouTube videos, I fell in love with you and I'm coming back specifically for you, and I'm taking you to the UK, and you're never working at Disney again because I want you for myself. Thanks. Please and thanks. I've been having dreams of that cheesecake. Oh, I want more. Yeah, I'm not going to include that.